idea about sound health. What is a sound health? And just a few principles. You have a strong Lagna and strong Lagna Lord. So Lagna is the first house. It has to be strong. Strong means its Lord should be strong. It should be under good influence of benefics. And I've told you benefics are Jupiter, Venus, Mercury and Moon. So good planets are aspecting it. The Lord of the Lagna is aspecting it or associated with it. If the Moon is unafflicted, Moon is very important in the horoscope. And if Moon has problems, if it is under malefic influence, then it indicates particularly adverse health during childhood. You can almost invariably say that if the Moon is afflicted in the horoscope, anywhere in the chart, then the child must have had adverse health during his early years. So, unafflicted Moon, a Moon which is not under any malefic influence, that is important for good health. Shubha Kartri. Shubha Kartri is a yoga to the Lagna Munch. Kartri is a scissors. So if you have, Lagna is this one, first house. If you have a Shubha, it means a benefic planet on this side and a benefic on the other side. So that is a Shubha Kartri yoga, benefics on either side. So any house or any planet which is surrounded by benefics is in a Shubha Kartri yoga. So if you have a Shubha Kartri to the Lagna or the Moon, that is also an important factor for health. Then I have said benefics in Kendras or Trikonas. These 4 houses, this is the first, then 4th, then 7th, then 10th. 1, 4, 7, 10. These are known as Kendras. So if you have good planets in the Kendras, they protect your health. And if you have malefics in houses 3, 6, 11, and this is 1, 2, 3. So this is the 3rd house, this is the 6th house, this is the 11th house. So if you have malefic planets in these houses, they also are good for health. For example, you have Mars here, this is a positive factor. Ketu in the 6th house is a positive factor. But Saturn in the 10th house, there should be a benefic here. So this is not a positive factor. So basically, you will not get purely, benefic or purely malefic disposition in any chart. So you will have a mixed result in every horoscope. Then we go to the next horoscope, that's this thing. Unsound health. A weak Lagna and weak Lagna Lord, afflicted Moon, Papa Kartri to Lagna Moon. Earlier it was Shubha Kartri, now it is Papa Kartri. Malefics on either side. Malefics in Kendras and Trikonas, no malefics in 3, 6, 11. That is what is not good for health. Can we see the charts somehow? Can somebody help me? This is the horoscope of Rajiv Gandhi, who is not there. Now, what do we have? We have this 5th sign rising. The first house is 5, Simha Rashi. So that is the first house. Lord of Leo or Simha is Sun. So the Lord of the Lagna is in the Lagna. That is one positive factor for health. Then we have natural benefics, Moon, Mercury, Venus and Jupiter. They are all sitting in the Lagna. All of them in the Lagna. This is the best combination you can have for sound health. You know about Rajiv Gandhi. He was in good health. It was a good personality, and you know that he was, till death, he was in sound health. And this is a very strong combination where Leo sign itself is a strong sign, Simha Rashi, and then the Lord of Leo, and then all the benefics in the Lagna. And we have one malefic in the 6th house, that is Ketu, another malefic in the 11th house, that is Saturn. So it's a chart which is indicative of very nice sound health.
Any then, indication of premature death?
There is one very important disposition in this chart, which is common with Mahatma Gandhi and which is common with J.F. Kennedy. So they all had this a similar end almost.
What is that?
You know astrology, don't you? You don't. My observation is that when Mars and Saturn, they both aspect the 8th house. This is the first house. When both of them aspect the 8th house, in this case Mars is aspecting the 8th house and Saturn has a special aspect 10th house from Saturn that is aspected by Saturn. That generally indicates an unnatural and violent death. Mahatma Gandhi's Mars was in the Lagna here and Saturn here. So Saturn was looking at the 8th house and Mars again by special aspect was looking here. In the case of J.F. Kennedy, Mars is in the 8th house here itself and Saturn here which is aspecting the 8th house. So, and then I have seen it in other patients also who are having some serious health problems which are surgical problems and complications and so on. Unless there is some very strong protection, this I consider as an adverse factor.
And any indication of his being a king or a lord?
Oh, plenty of Raj Yogas in this horoscope. There's lot of things there. So, sudden rise and sudden decline. That is there.
Sun is also in the first house. Makes him a king.
No, even you see when you go to the Vargas, they are very strong. And this chart, of course, is one of the strongest. Another chart here, and in this chart, you see this, as I told you, houses 1, 4, 7 and 10 are Kendras, and we have benefics in the Kendras. 1, 5 and 9 are Trikonas, so there are benefics in the Trikonas also. Moon here and Jupiter here. Jupiter is the lord of this sign. So Jupiter being in this sign associated with the Sun, this is all again a very positive factor, positive indication for health. Incidentally, this chart belongs to a friend of mine who was at one time very popular because he remembered his past birth. And his is the almost one of the best documented cases. One Dr. Ian Stevenson in Virginia, he came over here and he, worked on him. And his book, which is Cases of the Reincarnation Type, 10 cases in India. First case was described about him. So this is also another very good horoscope for sound health.
So what indicated here in this his ability to recall the past birth?
I can only give you an indication why he has good memory and things like that, but I don't know why he recalls the past birth. He was shot dead by his own brother. And he remembers that, and of course he met all. Sorry?
In the previous birth.
Previous birth, yeah.
We get it from hypnosis, past life regression.
That will, astrologically, somebody will remember past life, I don't know any combination. Not yet, at least.
All of us can, once we go through the theory, we can recall.
Yeah, okay.
But here the Jupiter is combust, isn't it?
Jupiter is combust, but Jupiter-Sun combination is a very, Jupiter combust can give health problems.
Yeah.
But Jupiter-Sun, you see, the question is that when the dasha comes, then the effect will occur.
But even if it shows up that he's going to meet with accidents,
He has not met any accident yet. He has not been operated upon. Go to the Vargas, that will give you some indication. Because we don't make any major predictions on the basis of this chart only. This is a good indication of things, but details lie in the Vargas, and of course the operation of the dashas. Because even if what he is saying is that the Jupiter is combust, when planet is too close to the sun, then it becomes, we use the term ast. Combust is a more aggressive term. Combust means it is burnt out. But we say ast. Ast means it is not visible. So it is not always as bad as the term combust indicates. But certainly this Jupiter is combust and this, ast, and then therefore it will create some health problems during its dasha. But otherwise this Jupiter is aspecting the lagna, is looking at his own house. It is associated with the 9th Lord Sun, which is great. It's a friend, Sun is a friend of it. Then Mercury in its own house in the 10th house. Venus is aspecting the lagna, Moon is in the 5th house. So quite a few combinations which indicate good health. Jupiter's dasha of course will be problematic.
And this is all dynamic, right? So this is for a certain time period and after which...
The dashas give you the dynamicity. You see, when you examine the chart, that is the static aspect. When you apply the dashas and gochar, the transits, that is dynamicity in it. So we have that here.
This is just the basic chart at the time of birth. That's it.
This is the chart. This is the chart of J.F. Kennedy. And his Lagna Lord Mercury is in the 8th house, associated with the 8th Lord Mars. That is a very big, very strong affliction of the Lagna. And Saturn aspecting it. This is a chart where even the general health, because his kendras are also occupied by malefics, and this is a chart where health has to be unsound, and it is said that if the American public knew about his health, they would probably not have elected him as the president. That is also said.
Rahu and Ketu are together, so that should mean a very bad...
Rahu and Ketu can't be together. They have to be 180 degrees apart.
Yeah, but aren't they creating a lot of influence?
No, you see, this is 9th and there is 3rd. So basically the 4th house and the 10th house. So they are 180 degrees apart. They can't be together.
But influence on the first house?
No, because here, there is no, you see, it goes only with the 7th house or the other one.
Influence on the first house. You see, when we say that if the benefics are in the kendras, they are good for health. It is because they are affecting the lagna positively. Now, whether there is a benefic in the 4th house or benefic in the 10th house, that is also affecting the lagna positively. And there is a very important standard principle of Varahamihir. He says planets which are in kendras from each other, they influence each other very strongly. So if you have planets in the kendra anywhere, they will influence the lagna. So Rahu and Ketu will also influence the lagna strongly.
But Lagna is 6th house, isn't it?
Lagna is?
Lagna is the 6th Virgo. Virgo is the Lagna here.
Mm-hmm.
So Rahu Ketu being on the 9th. The reason why he died was because the Rahu and Ketu was at the, both in the kendras inflict each other. That's why.
Anyway, Rahu gave him Raj Yoga. Rahu gave him importance. In fact, Mangal was his Vars Dasha. So after Rahu started, then he became more important,
Right,
prominent.
you get the president.
Yeah. And anyway, Rahu is in the house of Jupiter, and Ketu is in the house of Mercury. Rahu and Ketu, although they are natural malefics, they become very benevolent when they are in the signs of Jupiter or Mercury. So Rahu is in the sign of Jupiter and Ketu in the sign of Mercury. They become quite benevolent when they are in these signs, because these are the signs of two benefics. After, more than that, the 10th house, any planet in the 10th house affects your profession, and malefics are also good in the 10th house, unless they are, of course, under other adverse influence.
So Saturn is a very positive influence here, no?
Saturn actually is a bad planet here because it's the lord of the 6th house aspecting the Lagna and aspecting the Lagna lord in the 8th house and also the 8th lord. So there is a mutual aspect between the, you see, the Lagna lord is under the influence of the 6th lord Saturn and 8th lord Mars. So it's a very strong affliction of the Lagna lord. That is a strong deterrent to health.
And what is the time period for Rahu and Ketu to be having a strong influence? Like 10 years, 18 years, 20 years?
Rahu's complete period is 18 years. Ketu is 7 years. So whenever their dasha comes, they will have their effect.
And if they're both together, means what? They can't be in the same house.
They can't be in the same house.
The 180 degrees apart always.
In some of the Vargas, the calculation system of calculation is such, Varga charts, they become together. But when we, at least when I analyze that Varga, then I put it in the 7th from Ketu, in the 7th from Rahu. But there are Vargas, for example, Trinshansha. In the Trinshansha, Rahu and Ketu are together. So,
Very complicated science.
it's a complicated thing.
Just touching the basics.
So I'm not taking you into those details, but anyway.
These are the mysteries.
This is another chart of someone who had very bad health. Young lady, she died young. And the important thing is, this is what we call as Papa Kartri. Mars in the 12th house, Ketu in the 2nd house. So they are both proceeding towards the Lagna. So Lagna is in a Papa Kartri yoga. That is one factor. But more than that is that the Lagna Lord, which is Venus, is very close to the 12th Lord, which is a bad house Lord. So 12th Lord and Lagna Lord, if they are very close to each other, they indicate bad health. Because 12th is house of loss. So loss for the body. So loss for health. And then both of them are very close to Ketu. And almost invariably, whenever a planet is very close to Ketu, then whatever it signifies, that suffers. So here, Venus signifies his health. Venus is the lord of the Lagna. And it is very close to the 12th lord and very close to Ketu. So they are.
These horoscopes are showing the degrees. So one house is of 30 degrees. Okay, so you can see Venus 28.31, Mercury 28.57, and Ketu 29.30, almost 1 degree. Sitting like they are sitting together.
Within 1 degree.
So every house is like Sun is in the 3rd house in 21.56 degrees.
They are in
Showing
conjunction.
the degree in that particular house.
Another one. This is also bad health. You can see that the Lagna, sorry. I think I have to.
There's a lot of variation here, right from 8 degrees to 25 in the Lagna.
No. The point is here, Moon is very close to Rahu. Moon is on the same degree as Rahu in the Lagna. So Moon is a weak planet. It gets affected very easily and very close to Rahu. And then of course there is the influence of Saturn's aspect also on this Lagna. And the Lord of Lagna is Mercury, which is in the 3rd house. Here, it is retrograde. Retrograde also is not a very positive thing for health. A retrograde planet means, you see, when we are on the earth and looking at the sky, then sometimes, you see, the planets go on moving in the same, in the same manner, same direction. But sometimes when we see from here, they appear to be moving backwards. That is what is retrogression.
Can
So,
you explain it in a better way?
You see-
में जा रहे हो आप, They both went together.
Yeah.
And suddenly you find the other car is falling back your front. It basically has speed. But when this is what is falling back, that is called retrograde.
Relative speed is.
I'll explain it. You see, the orbit is not a circular orbit. It's elliptical orbit. So in the elliptical orbit, at some arc, the speed is more, and some arc, the speed appears to be less. So if two planets are moving in the same direction, same side, two trains moving, both are moving same direction. One is moving slow, one is moving fast. If you are sitting in one, it will appear the other train is moving in the opposite direction. So that is it.
Let me say the same thing slightly differently. You see, when you are, okay, let us take the example of two trains only. So you are looking at a far off distance, something which is further away and that is fixed. So when you are moving together, it appears, you see, we are seeing the position of the planets against the stars, which are far, far away. So what happens is that we are looking at the stars, that is our standard position. Now when we are moving here and the same other moving object is also moving at the same speed, then we are seeing it in the same position, for example, against the same star. But when we go faster, then this goes back and you see that it is against some other star. It is, you are looking at, the angle is different. The object is moving, the planet is moving, but you are looking, because you are going faster, then against the background of the stars, you are thinking you are seeing as if it is going backwards. That is retrogression.
But
All this is based.
Has an effect.
All this is
visual appearance has an effect.
no. All astrology is based on what you see. What you see.
Not the real position.
So therefore, the concept is geocentric. Earth is the center. That is the concept, and therefore sun appears to be moving. It appears to be moving, although we are going around it. So all astrology is based on what you see. You see, when you are in two trains, you consider yourself as the standard, as the stationary, and then in relation to you, the other train is also moving. So you have to consider yourself as fixed, and then how the distant thing appears against the background of the stars, which are far, far away. These planets are very close by. The stars are too far away, millions of light years away. So they appear fixed. So that is how you see. So the planet appears as if it is going backwards from the earth. So that is a bad situation for health. And then this Mercury, which is the lord of the Lagna, it is not only retrograde, but associated with the sun and very close, so it is combust, and also associated with the 8th lord Mars, which is a very adverse association.
So combust would mean a very
Ast.
small effect.
Combust means it is not visible.
So very small effect.
Depends on what planet is.
असर खत्म हो जाता है.
It varies.
And Rahu is close. Rahu should be giving a positive influence. No?
Should give positive influence.
Yeah.
It is afflicting the moon.
So the moon will also get.
Moon is the karka for blood, and this patient had
Blood problems.
chronic myeloid leukemia, blood cancer. I think we'll go further. This is the chart of somebody who was quite a brilliant person. But again, I wanted to show the affliction of the Lagna Lord. Lagna is, exactly on the same degree as the sun. So that is one factor, which is because Lagna Lord is totally combust.